Welcome to the strange universe of food randonauts. So let's get started here with a little bit of an introduction. What do I mean when I say randonaut? Well, Randonautica is an app for randomly generated exploration. Its symbol is the owl, and this is something you can download on your phone. It'll give random locations, and you can kind of go exploring maybe parts of your town, city that you've never been to before, randomly. And so, randonauts are people who engage in randonauting. So just like astronauts go into outer space, randonauts go into, I guess, randomness. Now, I'm going to apply the concept of randonauting beyond location. Because why not? Let the randomness get around. So let's try food. Let's see what it means to be a food randonaut. Well, how will we go about this? What does that mean to be a food randonaut? Well, let's talk through a little procedure I've put together. First, I'm going to use Python to create a list of food items. Pizza, chicken wings, burgers, sloppy joes, you name it. Then I'll randomly select and combine two items from that list. And the two items are going to be kind of colloquially an adjective at the beginning and the noun at the end. So say you have two food items, you have pizza and hot dogs. You can have it in this order, but you actually can have it in the other order as well. The same two, hot dog, pizza. And you can see that these would be two different foods depending on which one's the adjective, this one's a noun. A pizza hot dog will probably be on a bun with a hot dog and maybe some toppings of cheese and pepperoni. Whereas a hot dog pizza is going to be, a big thing of dough with sauce and maybe cut up hot dogs on it. So, given this setup, the possible number of combinations that you can have is going to be n, is the number of food items, times n minus 1. So, for my first attempt here, I made a list of 100 food items. So that's going to be 100 times 100 minus 1, which is 9,900. So a world of random food combinations here. So with that, I'm going to generate 10 combinations and select the best out of those 10. Then I'm going to repeat that 10 times for a final list of 10. So I'll look at 100 different combinations, picking 10 from each time. And then when I get through all that, I'm going to try cooking at least one of these random combinations. That being said, I'll let Python do its work of randomizing the food combinations, and we'll take a look at the final results from there. I won't bore you with going through parsing through the lists. So this is what I found here. 10 random food item combinations. We had po' boy stuffed peppers, pizza kebabs, breakfast sandwich tater tots, biscuits and gravy soup, grilled cheese chip dip, steak BLT, chicken cordon bleu corn on the cob, barbecue Philly cheesesteak, chicken nuggets rice-a-roni, and chicken Alfredo hash browns. Now these all sound pretty good. These were the best of the best that I thought of. And I could really see myself trying to cook any of those, but I think I'm going to go with pizza kebabs for my food of choice. So let's switch over to real time and see how pizza kebabs work in real life. We're going to start out by making mozzarella cheese stuffed Italian sausage balls. So they're going to be about that size. All you're going to do is take some raw Italian sausage and a cube of mozzarella cheese and just cover it completely. You don't want the meat so thick that it doesn't cook very well, but you also want it thick enough to cover the cheese completely so not all of it gets out. So just make all of these. And with some stop motion magic, I have a pile of them. And I'm going to take kebab skewers that are usually soaked in water, have my onion and green pepper cut up, as well as mushrooms. So those are going to be my vegetables, kind of like a supreme pizza topping, and then folded up wads of pepperoni that I'm going to skewer in alternating fashion. Let's get started here. You can really kind of alternate how much you want, whether you want more vegetables, more meat. I'm going to just start here with the vegetables and then alternate the meats for this first one. There we go. And then just back and forth, like so. We've got almost a complete kebab here. The sausage kind of compresses a little bit, so make sure once you get it on, you kind of reconstitute it so the cheese isn't sticking out. Okay, that looks pretty good here. Then just keep going till you have your kebabs. I'm just putting them in this glass to transport them over to the oven, which I have on high broil with a rack close to the top, and then I have a rack below with a lined baking sheet to cover any of the drips. So I'm going to simply place these directly on the rack here and let them cook 5 minutes on each side, rotating them, of course. Now you could obviously do this on an outdoor grill or even just on a pan, but this is how I chose to try it out here. Okay, we'll close it up, let that cook, and check on it in a little bit here. Okay, here we go. We definitely needed that drip pan, but we still have enough cheese, and I believe the meats and vegetables are cooked well enough that I'll just pull one out here to take a look. Oh yeah, and that some of that meat, especially the pepperoni, is nice and crispy. And then with your kebabs, you can garnish it with marinara sauce and Parmesan as you like. Pajam. Well, thanks for joining me. Brace yourselves for awesome and
Don't get lost in the Randoverse.